From the 4-cylinder you drive every day to the 16-cylinder monster no one was supposed to build. Inline-Four Engine. If you've ever driven a normal car, you've almost certainly driven one of these. 4 cylinders lined up in a single row, simple, compact, and cheap to build. Mounted sideways in most front-wheel drive cars to squeeze every millimeter of space. For decades, it was just enough. Then, turbocharging happened. Now, a 1.5-liter 4-pot can humiliate engines twice its size. It powers everything from rental cars to hot hatches, and it's not going anywhere.
Inline-Three Engine? It used to be a joke. Now it's winning emissions battles nobody thought a 3-cylinder could fight. Strip 1 cylinder off the Inline-Four, and you get something lighter, thirstier, and slightly weird sounding. That uneven rumble comes from the inherent imbalance of 3 cylinders, but with a turbo strapped on, most drivers never notice. Stricter emissions targets pushed manufacturers to take this layout seriously, and today's 3 cylinders are genuinely impressive. Don't let the cylinder count fool you. Inline-Six Engine. 6 cylinders in a line. No vibration, no drama, just buttery, effortless power, and an engineering legacy that tuners still chase today. The Inline-Six is perfectly balanced by design. The firing order cancels out vibration in a way no other layout can match naturally. It's why BMW built an entire brand identity around their straight 6, and why the Toyota 2JZ became one of the most tuned engines in history. Smooth at idle, strong at full throttle, and timeless in character. The only catch is length. You need a proper engine bay to fit one. V6 engines. Slotted into 6-cylinder power available to everyone by bending the rules. Literally. Split 6 cylinders into 2 banks of 3 and angle them into a V, suddenly you've got inline-6 performance in a much shorter package. That's the whole idea. V6 engines slotted into mid-size cars, SUVs, and trucks that couldn't fit a straight 6 without a rethink of the entire chassis. Twin turbos pushed modern V6 output into genuine V8 territory. It's not the most exotic layout, but as a practical performance solution, it's hard to argue with. V8 engine. You don't just hear a V8, you feel it. It's the engine that built American car culture and never really left. 8 cylinders, 2 banks of 4, and a low exhaust note that's been burned into the memory of anyone who's ever stood trackside. The V8 powered the Mustang, the Camaro, the Corvette. It was the heartbeat of the muscle car era. That low-end torque, that sound, that identity. Nothing else quite replaces it. Stricter fuel rules have squeezed the V8 out of more segments, but for the people who still want one, there's no substitute. V10 Engine. Too exotic for the mainstream, too raw to be ignored. The V10 lives in the space between a V8's Thunder and a V12's Silk. Add 2 cylinders to a V8, and you get something that screams rather than roars. Sharp throttle response, high revs, and a sound unlike anything else on the road. Lamborghini built their mid-engine legend around a naturally aspirated V10 that became iconic for its mechanical aggression. A few trucks and sedans tried V10 power too, but it never became common. That rarity is part of what makes it special. V12 Engine. 12 cylinders working in harmony. It's not just an engine, it's a statement. Power so refined you almost can't believe it's there. 12 cylinders spread across 2 banks create a balance so natural that vibration almost ceases to exist. Rolls-Royce put it in limousines. Ferrari put it in some of the greatest sports cars ever made. At high speed, a V12 doesn't feel fast. It feels inevitable. In the era of downsizing and electrification, it's becoming rarer every year, which might be exactly why enthusiasts love it more than ever. W12 Engine. What do you do when you want 12 cylinders but don't have the space? You get creative. Volkswagen Group's answer to the packaging problem: narrow 2 V6 engines together into a tighter W configuration
and you get 12 cylinders in a shorter block. It's unusual engineering that most people never have to think about. It just works quietly under the bonnets of Bentleys and top-spec Audis. The result is V12 smoothness in a body that wasn't designed around such a large engine. Complicated to build, elegant to drive. W16 Engine. 16 cylinders, 4 turbochargers, 1 car. Bugatti didn't make the W16 because it was practical. They made it to prove it was possible. This engine doesn't belong in the real world, and that's exactly the point. 4 banks of 4 cylinders packed into a block barely larger than some V8s, with 4 turbochargers feeding it air. The power output changed what fast means for road cars. The engineering involved would make most manufacturers walk away. Bugatti looked at those problems and kept going. The W16 isn't a product. It's a proof of concept with a license plate.
Enjoyed this video? Subscribe for more car breakdowns like this every week. Simple, clear, and straight to the point. Share this with someone who loves cars or thinks engine design doesn't really matter. And drop a comment below. Which engine layout is your favorite and why?